most recently, they even want to eliminate classes that teach, quote, gender ideology. Well, so what are we talking about here? Classes that teach women's history? Women's equality? The study of the fact that there are still only 25 women in the United States Senate in a body of 100?
Women's equality, she says. Women's equal rights, she says. She's gaslighting you. She knows exactly what we're talking about. The reason for the definition at the beginning of this segment was because I had a conversation last night with one of my best friends. She was telling me about some of the extracurricular reading materials that's being provided to her kids at their public school. And she expressed some concern. To her, it seemed that the materials were pushing a certain ideology, promoting a certain culture, a certain way of life. And it's a lifestyle that she doesn't agree with. And she felt that the material doesn't fall in line with the educational process of children. She felt it was inappropriate. Well, when I was talking to her about that, okay, she's just a normie. She's not into the culture war. She doesn't follow politics as much as, say, you and I. So I told her about a story that NBC had, posted on Twitter about a fifth grade teacher who brought some reading materials into her classroom. One of the children chose the book because of the beautiful colors. She took it, her parents saw it, and the parents reported her to the school. That book that was provided to a fifth grader was called This Book is Gay. You'd think, yeah, so what? Just a book. Well, there's some misconceptions about that. Like, for instance, Kamala or anyone on the left would try to tell you that the right is trying to ban books. That's a lie. What the right is trying to do is trying to limit access to sexually explicit materials to underage kids. That is what the right is trying to do. In fact, this book is one of them. So you're thinking, well, how could this book get into the hands of a middle school or a junior high? Well, it's because of gaslighting. Because of reasoning like Kamala's. Let's say, okay, I'm 50. I'm a teacher. We're just saying I'm a teacher, just using this as an example. I have a classroom full of 25 kids that are 10 years old, boys and girls. Now, once a week, we're going to take an hour out of one of our school days, and we're going to have elective reading. I'm going to bring in a whole bunch of different books. The kids can choose them, and they can read what they want. Simple enough. Now, let's say I decide that I'm going to add, let's say, a Hustler magazine or a Playboy. You have any idea what would happen to me if I did that? I'd get fired. I'd be arrested. I'd probably spend time in jail. Not only that, I'd end up on a sexual offenders list because I'm providing material that has explicit images, sexual stories and content, instructions on how to do sexual acts. Pretty heinous, if you ask me, right? So if a teacher were to bring in some porn magazines with those kind of images and articles, you would expect that. Get fired, go to jail, be on a sex offenders list. That's just the way it is. The natural, that is just how it goes. Now, what if I told you that this book, which is commonplace in the public school system, contains explicit images, instructions, how to perform sexual acts, how to use social media to meet other people for sexual encounters, the ups and downs of sexual relationships. You would say, I'm crazy. They wouldn't allow that into a school. Well, see, that's where you're wrong. This book is being depicted by the left as a educational book, a mental health book, a gender affirming book, when in fact it's no better than a hustler or a playboy. You say it can't be for real. Well, no, that's where you are wrong. Let's go to Amazon. And lo and behold, there it is. For sale, all in its glory. And just some of the finer points of this book. Covers. Now, this is all that they can print on the Amazon sale page. Other images I cannot show you for the simple fact that they depict genitalia. Instructions on how to do these sexual acts. This is a book in commonplace that is being presented to your children in public schools. Yep. So, now, if you, wonderful Democrats, have no issue having this type of literature being provided to 10-year-olds, children under 18, you're a groomer. Flat out. No ifs, ands, or buts. You're trying to groom these children into a culture that they're not even aware of. They have no capacity to understand. Yes, some of them may be different, but it is an exploration they have to find out for themselves and with their adult parents to instruct them, to advise them, to care for them. It is not the school's position. It is not the school's job. The school job is reading, writing, arithmetic, science, civics, physical education, social interaction with multitudes of people, how to keep a schedule. That is the school's job. Not to push ideology or provide sexual illicit materials to children. Anyone who provides material such as this to a kid belongs in jail, should lose their job, be on a sexual offenders list. Some of the finer points of this book. Stereotypes, the facts and the fiction. Coming out as LGBT. Where to meet people like you. Well, just be social. You're at school. I'm sure there's other people like you. Oh, here's one. The in and out of gay sex. Is that appropriate for a fifth grader? Is that appropriate for someone under 17? Oh, how to flirt. And so much more. So much more they can't print here. Like the fact that how to upload pictures of yourself to social media and dating sites. where I'm sure there are sexual predators just waiting. And you're going to provide this information to kids. The left is lying to you. It is not the right trying to ban books. It is trying to keep material like this out of your children's hands. That is what we're trying to do. They're lying to you. These are the people that you vote for. They're grooming your children into an ideology. May not necessarily be this cultural or community, but they're grooming your children. They're setting them up. It's that simple. You can choose to believe it or not. And it's a shame. And we'll even do this. The Snopes fact check. Does this book actually have these things? Yes, it is true. You need to pay attention to what your kids are bringing home to read. You need to be more involved in what your school is doing to your children. Providing you this information is to help you, help your kids. You voted for these people. If you voted Democrat, that's what you voted for. And I pray for you. I really do. That one day you'll wake up and see what they're doing to you and your kids. Wake up, people. On that, I'm going to let it go. Until next time, I'm sure it'll be something else that'll piss you off. That's my job. Don't forget, kids, vote angry. See you next time. Good night.